Peace. This is a meat and potato sorcery production starring myself, the Word Alchemist, and today's topic for the occult family is by way of deception. Anytime something happens in countries, no matter if it's Canada, the UK, or the United States, one of the things that they engage in is deception. And they basically create certain circumstances or events to happen so you will get behind them. Now, they started the problem, they instigated it, and then they want you to clamor and beg them for a solution. This has been going on since time immemorial. You can even read Machiavelli, The Prince. You can read that. So this has been going on. Now, where am I going with this? Let me say this now, so I'm going to let you know exactly where I'm going. Gender will be non-existent within the next anywhere to 5 to 10 years. Yes, biologically, you will be a male or a female, but they are going to neutralize gender as a whole. That's going to be androgyny. That's going to be normal. And one thing about androgyny, once you arrest the polarities of masculine and feminine, the civilization first declines, it dies from within, and then someone comes along, and then they pretty much destroy the civilization. That is how it always works, no matter where you go. All empires fall, but they're going to neutralize gender. They're doing that. Right now, they're using the first chess move is Amazonian feminism. Then they're going to head to androgyny. Now you're purposely seeing what's happening. And I lived in New York, as I've said this many times. You have the tragedy of what happened on the subway with 10 people critically wounded. And my heart goes out to the families. But this is a setup because you got to know something. New York is a police state. So whatever happens in New York is going to trickle down everywhere else, and they're going to start with New Jersey because they're virtually going to make it impossible to get a gun. The only ones who are going to be able to have a gun is police officer and the rest of the intelligence agencies. They'll be able to carry a firearm, but just regular everyday citizens, no, you can forget that. That's coming to an end because you can have a misdemeanor and you can't even get a gun. So they're making it difficult because, as Thomas Jefferson said, you should have a revolution at least every 20 years because this keeps the government with some vestige of integrity. And the whole thing is they'll think twice before they try to steer the population into certain things. So they're going to make it pretty much impossible to get a gun. Like I said, you can have certain things that don't even have anything to do with murder, or you were a drug dealer, or even a sexual offender or rapist. You can have a misdemeanor and they're going to make it where you can't get a gun. So they're doing this to scare you because you have to remember something. Who all was for gun control? Mao Zedong, you had Joseph Stalin, and you had Hitler. All of them were for gun control. All of them. And you have to remember, Hitler and Joseph Stalin were butchers, but they both were at one time Times Man of the Year by that founder of Time magazine, Henry Luce. You know, the Skull and Bones man. So that's where they're going. They're going to do that. Farmers are vigorously going to get attacked. Like, you basically going to have to go through Monsanto and DuPont. They're making it now where you have to ask them to grow your own food. This is where they're going. They're setting everything up. But they're doing it incrementally. But they're setting everything up for you to be a slave 24 hours. Be a slave. Can't own no guns. And if you do have knives, we're going to even make it difficult for you to get a knife now. Can't get a gun. What's the other thing that people are going to do? They're going to get knives. You can learn knife fighting or with sticks, eskrima. So certain things they're going to do. And people say, well, where are they going to go with this? They're going with this because you can't have masculinity at its best. You cannot have that. You cannot have femininity at its best. You can't have that. So if we just combine the two and they're no longer male or female, they're just a human being. They're just a person. Then you become a functionary. And remember, once you get in concert with the state, this lays down the foundation for total fascism. That is what's going to happen. And they do this by way of deception because they'll have you thinking this is for your own good. Now, how do they accomplish this? Because they take tragedies and they play on people's fears and their grief and their sorrow. Remember when 9/11 happened and people briefly came together? How'd that work out? Oh, I don't care as long as the government can see that this will never happen again. You played right into their hands. That's what they wanted you to say. And then look at the charade that's going on with so-called President Biden. And his son is connected, what? To biolabs in the Ukraine. That's right. Many people have been played for suckers. And they're going to keep doing it. The playbook will always stay the same. It's just that the participants and the players will change. You will have starters, six-mans, and reservists. And you, my friend, and you, young lady, you're the undrafted. So, with that, that is your meat and potato sorcery for the day. I am the Water Alchemist. Be water, my friends. Peace.